It's a pleasure to be talking to you.
No, the pleasure's mine. You're rocking it here.
Thank you. We've been talking all week, and you've had roles in Casper. You've been in Addams Family. But the big one we've been talking about lately, Blue Crush 2.
No, that's good. Yeah, it was a big rush.
There you go.
It was a big rush.
Riding the waves. Can you tell me a little bit about your character, Cowboy?
You know, it was really cool about that. When I got contacted by the director from Universal, he said, we've got this surfing movie, Blue Crush 2, we're going to do. And I was like, I don't care what it is I'm in. But then he said, well, there's this role, Cowboy, that we'd like you to do. And when he sent the script over, I emailed him back and I said, did you write this part for me? Because it was totally my personality, totally who I am. He's this guy from Montana who ends up in South Africa, hanging with a bunch of surfers and surfing a longboard. There's a scene where I'm surfing on a saddle and just magic. Everything, it was really my personality in the film. And it's probably one of the easiest acting gigs I've ever had, doing just what I do every day, so it was amazing.
What part of South Africa were you filming in?
We actually filmed down all the eastern side from Durban down to Cape Town. And I have to tell you, and if you've not been or if you can ever go, anybody, it was absolutely amazing. My statement since I came back from South Africa has been, it was as if my heart was wet concrete and the people, the place, and the time left a massive imprint on my life forever. I love it. I'm getting chills telling you, it was magic.
I totally agree. I've been once, and I can't wait to go back.
You know too well. Beautiful. And where we went from Durban down to Cape Town, saw amazing places, but probably the most amazing was a place called the Transkei. And everybody who I worked with, kind of given my hippie cowboy look, said, wait till you get the Transkei, you're not going to want to leave. And it's true. It was magic. It was like the jungle and all that you kind of see Africa. But we did everything from seeing the elephants, had a rhino and the whole thing. So it was full on for sure.
That's great. Now, I want to talk a little bit about how you got started. Just you talking right there about your style, who you are. You lived in a tent for 5 months when you first moved here.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about it?
A little bit about that. You know, my parents were, my dad was a gospel recording artist, and I traveled with my parents performing at a very young age. And I say to people, when you start performing or you're an artist, it's as if you've been bitten by the vampire, and you thirst for that thing the rest of your life. And in the 90s, I decided, well, look, I need to go where the action really is. I was in college in Oregon, and I thought, it's in LA if you want to do it. And I had a producer say, come down, I'll get you into SAG, which was, if you got a speaking part at the time, you were in the union. So I drove down with $100 in my pocket, and the house I was supposed to stay in, the room wasn't available. Well, once I was here. There was no going back. So I asked him if it would be all right if I put a tent up in the backyard, and actually slept in the tent for 5 months, making a go of it. But I have to tell you, I was happy then, I'm happy now. And then it turned to, I think I told you in a conversation, that I went from a tent at that time in my life, sleeping for 5 months, to eventually having a house in Malibu. And at the end of the day, it's just a testament to following your dream and going after it. And the business isn't always fair, it's not always fun, but it's what I love and it's what I do. And clearly to sleep in a tent for 5 months, you must love it.
I'd say you've done pretty well for yourself. You're now working, or it's in pre-production, on a movie called Tarantula.
I have a movie, Tarantula, that we're doing. It's getting ready to go into production with a guy named Danny Trejo, who's amazing. He's been in loads of stuff like Machete, probably one of the hardest working guys in town. And in that film, I play a biker. I don't know why.
Why is that? I don't know.
I can't understand that. And I've got some other stuff cooking that's really, I've got a piece that's could be going with a Civil War thing where they've got me playing a doctor in the Civil War. So with the long hair and the beard, it's funny, for a long time I was really clean cut. I stopped taking care of myself and things started happening, so who knows?
It's the way things go.
Right?
And it's funny because when we first got here, actually, you were over at the coffee machine, and we started talking about how, well, Rick mentioned that you look like Jesus. Now, I haven't met Jesus, so, going by the pictures,
right?
I can say, yeah, there's a resemblance. But we started calling you Coffee Jesus because it all fit. You've actually played in theater a role of Christ.
Yeah, you know what? In fact, I'm doing it again this year. This will be the 9th year that I've played the part of Christ. in a play here in LA, the Passion Play. It's one of the largest productions of its kind in the country. We've got 100 people in the cast, 150 voice orchestra, 150 voice choir, 75-piece orchestra. It's massive, and I have to say, being in LA and being in theater, I always say to any performer, movies are great, television's great, but theater and doing something in a play like that is amazing. And I don't, it could be Broadway or your local theater, Shakespeare. This happens to be the Passion Play and about Christ, much like the movie The Passion of Christ. And at the end of the day, I think the most amazing thing is I'm humbled that I'm able to do it, because those are big sandals to fill. But it's all about love. And as I did it, I grew up going to church, but it was never a time that I got more identified with what it's about than looking at who the man was. And the guy really was the ultimate do-gooder, the ultimate Eagle Scout, the guy who cared for everybody. And I, in fact, bought a T-shirt in London, and it says, who would Jesus bomb? Well, Jesus wouldn't bomb anybody, so he wouldn't. It's all about love, and that's really what I've taken from it. And I'm actually getting chills again telling you about it, because it's that magic for me. And the more you do that, and I think to what we've talked about a little bit, the more you spread good and love in your life around you, the more good things happen. People can call it one thing or karma or whatever, but that's really what it's about, and that's what I try and do every day.
Great. Now, the amount we've talked, it would be wrong for me not to ask you the question I ask as many guests as I can. It's all about their socks. I think you can tell a lot about a person's socks, and I'd like to know what pair you chose to wear today.
You know what? If we're going to pan down, I can show you. I can kick the boots off. They happen to be, I believe, today. Let's see. I'm wearing my motorcycle boots.
Nice.
White gym socks. Which is funny, because normally I've got some kind of funky dress sock on with paisley or whatever. Today, wouldn't you know, you asked me about my socks. But that's what I'm doing today.
I could have had you prepared, but then it wouldn't have felt right.
It would have been weird if I had stockings on, right?
A little bit. But it would have started
Awkward,
a conversation.
Right?
So, normally you wear funky socks.
Normally I like something with some funk to it. I'm like, I'm kind of got stuff going on. I'm all about like crazy off-the-wall stuff. And in fact, one of the guys that's been at the event here was saying, all these kind of crazy hippie things that I have. I'm really about that. So if it's paisley or crazy print, that's my thing. I love it.
Do they always match?
Sometimes not so much. I'm not good with that. I'm like, if I look in the drawer and they're dark, they go. And it could be blue and black. Who knows, right?
Perfect. Thank you so much, Rodger.
You rock. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure talking to you over the last few days. And
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
The feeling's mutual. And this woman rocks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Well, you got it.